week 5 assignment, talking about DIY. Think about this for a second. According to Kids Count Date Report in 2022, the study was conducted that showed 84% of black fourth graders did not read at a fourth grade proficiency level versus 59% of the white counterparts. 91% of black eighth graders tested below proficiency in math compared to 66% of their white counterparts. Another study reported by Kid Count showed that black students are more likely to be disciplined than any other racial or ethnic group. The U.S. Study Government of Accountability Office conducted a 2017 and a 2018 found that black students are more likely to get expelled from public schools compared to any other races, as well as according to national statistics of education statistics, black students' high school graduation rate is 81% compared to their white counterparts' graduation rate of 90%. I could go on and sprout these statistics that point to subpar educational facilities, lack of supplies, books, access to certain technology. It could be Wi-Fi in the home. It can be Wi-Fi in the area. It can be educational books. Just a variety of different things. College prep courses and so forth. But I think that gives like a great idea of educational equality, and I wrote all this down, and have the equal opportunity of attaining that American dream that so many of us hear about and try to achieve. Education is in an area where we try to level up and playing field. Imagine having to start from behind early in life. How much harder do you think it will be? It's 2025 now, so going back to 1925, there were 0 to none resources, oh wow, it's just decades and centuries of changes, from just being into society, or even with the children, the ages, the new generations versus the old generations. Sometimes you have to think a black person has to work to gain the same level of education equality once they reach adulthood, which has consequences on poverty, career, or job choices, home ownership, and so forth. Sometimes some people may be turned down, they may be told no, versus other races. Even with jobs, sometimes I think it's EOE, where they want you to tell your race or your ethnicity. Sometimes you can choose not to tell or give that information, but it has been, I would say, a known factor that different races face different challenges when it comes to all that stuff. Schooling, getting accepted into schools, jobs, getting promoted on jobs. Yeah. So what measures can we take to improve education equality and inclusion? First, it starts with our local politicians, which inside the county government officials, the state and the federal representatives, and then the congressional leaders. They make many of the decisions on how money is utilized. It is important to vote, especially for those in the areas where the schools are marginalized. I wouldn't say predominantly the African American neighborhoods, but that's where a lot of the low income, a lot of the poverty, a lot of single family homes, it's just real below middle class, and African Americans tend to struggle more than our counterpart of white people. We need to make sure like all the money, all the resources are divided equally among all the areas in a county or city. There's no reason why white communities have cleaner, newer, and more innovative school versus the black communities. As far as that, I would say because in some of the nicer neighborhoods, you have the nicer homes, you have the nicer community centers, you have the nicer parks, versus low income or black people. It's public housing. There's not many recreational places for kids to go. There's not many activities for like young adults or teens. So the crime rate tends to be higher versus other ethnicities and areas and communities. There tends to be like a lack of empathy for these kids. Yeah, it's sad, really. And pretty much we all pay taxes to the same county or city. Therefore, schools that are subpar, marginalized, should have more of the resources in order to bring them up to the same standards of more affected communities. We should all call our representatives and make our voices heard. And that's something that I just feel like no one has like really been educated on or made to do, or saying, hey, this is important that you do. No one is like educating young adults, young teens, young voters, people that's just now turning 21 or, just turning 18. No one is making them understand the value and the importance of getting out, going to vote, because they just think, oh, it's just a piece of paper, or I don't know these people, or it's not going to affect me. But in reality, it does affect every single one of us. And everybody in 2025 is trying to make it and survive, because a lot of people did not get out and vote. So it's just a lot. We need to ensure to have, local votes. They have consequences and can determine different outcomes when you do get up or get out to go vote. It makes a very big difference, not just for my family or your family, for a lot of family. For kids, they can't voice their own opinions, or basically don't have a voice. They're looking for an adult to do that. So this concludes week's 5 assignment. Thank you.